This boat just coming in for regel treatment. Look. I'm not saying it takes it away, but it sure does diminish it, doesn't it?
That is 100% better.
Really shiny. Really good look. Okay, I'm gonna shoot a little video here of this boat just coming in for regel treatment. Customer's already taken and washed it and scuffed it with a scuff pad, so we're going to see what we can do with it. We've got a little dock rash here, pretty deep, all the way down into some of the actual fiberglass under the gel coat. So obviously we're not going to be able to fix that, but it'll make it diminish drastically. Really faded. Again, he's already scuffed it and got a lot of the dead glass off, so it doesn't look as bad as it probably did, but it's definitely still really good exfoliation. And he's been so kind as to take a lot of pictures before, which we'll put in this video to show you the before and then the after. So we're gonna get it in the shop and get some stuff mixed up. We're gonna get right to it. So we've got this in the shop. And what we're gonna do, the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna take wax and grease remover and we're gonna regel from this line here coming across all the way down to the water line, or basically the hull line. So what we're going to do, we're going to take two rags that are included in your kit. We've got all these rags here. We're going to take these rags and I'm going to take a wet one and I'm going to wipe it with wax and grease remover, and Arlen's going to come right behind me and just dry what I do. All we're doing is just basically removing any of our contaminants from our hands or anything else that's touched it. We're going to get that off. So we've got this in the shop. And what we're going to do, the first step we're going to do is we're going to take wax and grease remover and we're going to regel from this line here coming across all the way down to the water line, or basically the hull line. So what we're going to do, we're going to take two rags that are included in your kit. We've got all these rags here. We're going to take these rags and I'm going to take a wet one and I'm going to wipe it with wax and grease remover, and Arlen's going to come right behind me and just dry what I do. All we're doing is just basically removing any of our contaminants from our hands or anything else that's touched it. So what we're talking about is on this back of the boat, we're going to regel this portion up here where the name is. What we're not going to do is this. And this is a non-traditional non-skid. If it were traditional and it had a pattern to it that looked like X's, is there some inside?
The boat is that cushiony soft.
Well, that's actually a soft deck walk stuff, but they actually have non-skid on bigger boats that's made into it. If you have that, my experience has been, if I regel that, it still has good stiction, because our stuff doesn't make it slick like ice. It just seals it. On
stiction,
this,
that's a good word.
Stiction, yeah. Friction, stiction. This particular stuff has such a low level of grit that I'm afraid if we did shine it, it would make it too slick for someone's feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape this perimeter and we're going to cover that up. That way we don't gel it. So we're going to do that, and we'll be right back with our mixed up gel coat ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to walk Arlen through how to do this, and I'm not going to wear a mask right now. Honestly, we got pretty decent airflow going, but I want you guys to be able to hear me. And I'm going to do my best to describe to him how to actually apply regel. This way you guys can do it on your own. It's super easy. Don't freak out if you don't get it right the first time. There's several things that can happen. It can either be a little too dry or a little too wet. If it's too dry, just go back and get a little bit more on your sponge and come back over it pretty quickly. Don't let it dry all the way out. If you do, and you find dry spots later, let them go till the next day, and you can slightly scuff them again and retouch them up, no problem. If you've got runs, depending on how heavy your runs are, when you see them, come back across them again slowly and smooth them out. If they stay there and they drip off the boat, they're more than likely going to level out and solve their own problems. It really self-levels itself pretty well, but you can have some runs if you put it on super thick and sloppy. So the key for you is on your first dip, You're gonna take your sponge, you're gonna just lay it in there and get it on there. And then we're gonna basically let it run out. Come on up, let me show you. Set my tray here. I've got this not soaking wet, but also not at all dry. We're gonna come across, and we're gonna try to go in one direction only. See how it's running off the boat? I like to start somewhere that's a little bit on the high side, because as it runs, we can catch it. And this is really, really, really wet. We'll push a little bit out, grab my sponge up, and we'll come right back to my wet spot, and we'll come on down. Okay? Key when you get moving is don't go super fast. And that's a final coat right there, guys. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna let you take this sponge right here. There you go. And just let the sponge do the work. No weight at all in your hand. Yep. There you go, just like that. Keep on going, because you're about out of your window on that. There you go. You can do that, but you can't go back on your glass now because it's already too dry. This little spot right here, you can catch him because he's still in the window. There we go. All right, now you're taking over. And I'm gonna get this camera so we can see up close what he's doing. You got a really good touch on it right there. That's perfect. And our sponge is worked in where it's really flowing out real nice. And you can see he's just taking his time, making 2 coats. He's getting it laid in there real nice. There you go, just drag across your edge. What I use is get those hard edges up front and then come back and do the big wipes. Doing great. There you go. Perfect. Before you go too very far, you've got one little dry spot right there. You go. That's good. And the reason we've got to catch that is because we don't want that stuff to start tacking up, and you'll start feeling it pull. When you start feeling it pull, either go get a little bit more regel or just wait. All right, I suggest let's get a little bit more on our sponge. He's going to come over, just barely drop it in there, and then set it right up on the bubbles and let it run out. Maybe push just a little bit to get some of it out of your sponge. There you go. And I'll bring the tray behind you in case you're too much. You can take your time. This has a 2-hour working window, so we're not in a super hurry. Once we put it on the boat, we've got to be careful. A little too heavy, okay? So he's working that out a little bit. And if you feel it's really heavy, just work on down all the way to the back, and then let your runs work with you. There you go. And he's going the same direction each time. Notice he's not going back and forth. We're not washing. We're actually re-gelling and making this burn right into our old gel coat. Looking great. There you go. And don't freak out. You're gonna miss some spots. Those are super easy to fix. I know it's hard, but it looks really good. And what we're seeing right here is what we're gonna have forever. This is our finish. It looks wet, and I know you're thinking, oh, it looks wet. It will look like that forever. There you go. That's the hardest part of the boat. Don't touch this. Even though it's tempting, that's too dry to touch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the easier part of the boat. But let's start on this point and come down, and we're going to stop right here on this line. Remember to work your compound curve there. That's the spots we have the most propensity to miss. It's where it's tight in that little corner. You got a great job, man. Great job. Now keep on going through there. There you go. And you can work it however you want. You can work color by color, or you can work forward to backward with the whole boat. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not saying it takes it away, but it sure does diminish it, doesn't it?
That is 100% better.
Yeah, definitely 90% better. Yeah, that's nice. And that's all gonna lay out just fine. You're doing great. Just laying it on down. That khaki color is actually a pretty color. This is a professional grade product. It's not just some lipstick, Armor All type juice.
The smell is stronger than WD-40.
Yeah.
But
A little spot right here, Arlen.
I see that.
Perfect. Perfect. Try not to go back over your work too much that you have already done. I know it's tempting, but if you feel it pull, you know it's already reacting. It's gassing off almost immediately, and our solvents are slowly coming out, solvent by solvent, to make it lay out. Sponge management's probably the hardest part of this, wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
Knowing how much you can work.
And we do send you more than one sponge, and you'll be so much better on the second one. For the other side, I'll grab you another one. And you know, it's kind of counterintuitive because you're losing some product with it. But what happened is you did what I did the first time, and that's you're heavy-handed. The lighter you can touch it, the better. And the more you can drag the sponge across rather than pushing it, the better. And also, you really only want to use one side of it. I see you flipped it, and I did the same thing. Not the end of the world, just makes it a little bit messier for you to have to fight it. But we're all of what, 12 minutes into this, if that, probably more like 10 minutes, 6 minutes. But imagine having to cut and buff this. You wouldn't even be a
I'd
foot
rather
in.
drag a sponge than operate a 7-inch grinder.
Yeah, absolutely. Missed one little spot right here too. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, now as much as you're going to want to touch spots you missed, don't do it. Okay, so here's where we are with one side done. We've got a couple of little spots that he missed. Again, not a big deal to fix at all. So look at this side versus this side. So when you start seeing streaks like this is good training. You see streaks like that, he's just a little dry. He's going to wet it up a little bit more and just go right back over. If you're doing that within the first minute or so, you're okay. It will self-level itself out to a pretty good degree.
Did you get that?
Yeah, you can get right in there. You're good. There you go. So go the distance. You know, keep that way. You're getting it out of your sponge. There you go. That's good. And just slow your roll just a little bit when you're coming through. There you go. Let your sponge do the work. Nice. Perfect. Come all the way to here and then hit that crease. There you go. You got a little bit of a run right there. Just kind of pull through that and see if it pulls. Okay. That's probably maybe right there too. Yeah. There you go. And let's leave it. If we have to, we can touch that up. It may level itself out though. And that tan color goes from boring to being really nice.
It does. This makes it pop.
It really does. That would not have been a color I would have thought would really play well on the boat, but it sure does look good when it's shining. Great use of a wet sponge just to keep moving down. Go back over that one more time across the top. You got quite, there you go. Pull those through. Yep. Nice. Now you can keep working your way down. That shine. Bam. Bam. All right, you guys can see this thing really looks different. All right, pulling this thing out of the shop. First look in the sun, although it's not too sunny, looks really good. Really, really shiny. Really good look. Awesome.